Donc, qu'elle fait pendant la weekend? Pion.
Okay, that's enough of me butchering the French language. Yes, I played Expedition 33. I finally played it. I have a lot of things to say. But before I get to that game, we gotta talk Final Destination Bloodlines. So, I am a big fan of the Final Destination series. Watched all of them. I have a lot of strong opinions about the series. And I don't know, I feel like it's one of those franchises I watch every year. I don't know why it happens, but randomly I'm like, you know what? I think it's time for me to watch these movies again. And it always coincides when I'm sick. Like, I can have bronchitis, have like the worst illness of my life, and be like, you know what? Let me pop these bad boys in real quick. And when they announced a new one, honestly, I was a little skeptical going in because Final Destination 5 was such a perfect close of the series. You couldn't end a movie better. It has one of my favorite twists of a film. Like, perfect ending, brings the series full circle. I loved it. So I was like, how are you going to top it in a new movie? Are you going to undo what that fifth movie did? And I really enjoyed Bloodlines. Honestly, it's up there. It's a really good movie in the series. I really liked the direction they went with the story, the way that they kind of set into play events from previous movies and kind of how that ties into this one. And as a fully encompassing narrative from the first movie to this, it's very interesting. There are a lot of things in this movie that I was like, oh, okay, I didn't expect it was going to go in that direction. And they threw in bits, pieces here and there. I was like, ooh, okay. It kept me locked in. Honestly, it wasn't even just me. There was a guy who was sitting in front of me, and I'm not lying. In the beginning of the movie, he was kind of sit back. He was on his phone, just chilling. By the middle point of this movie, this dude was in the front of his seat in its exact position right there. I've never seen a man locked in as hard before on a movie. Honestly, I was doing the same too with him, because this movie started going places where I was like, oh, I'm there. I am there for the ride. I am excited to see what they do with this. And as tradition, the movies always have to hit you with here's a new fear that you never knew you had. We're gonna give it to you tenfold. And this movie was like, hey, that fear you already have, let's just amplify it even more. It's like, cool, I have a fear of heights. Oh, big tower stuff. Yeah, great. I was not having a good time in there. I was like, please, no heights. I'll stick to the glass, inside of the glass over some tall heights. But honestly, really good movie. The scenes in question in terms of death design and what they kind of go for with that, they were also really well done. There is a crazy one in this movie. If you have seen the movie, you already know what I'm talking about. There's one that was like, okay, who wrote this? I need to go find who wrote this and pay for their therapy, because that was horrific. But overall, it was a really, really fun movie. I had a great time with it. Does it land the same highs as number 5 or even the first two? It's close, honestly, I would say. The last half of the movie, I'd say the last third act, when it's at the very, very end, I think that was where it gets a little weak. I think the ending needed a bit more, but I was like, okay, for what it was fine. And also, I gotta say, this is Tony Todd's last role in the Final Destination series. Fantastic performance. I was almost in tears watching his scene because he was so good. He has always been such a fantastic actor, and he really went above and beyond on this one. And I think watching his performance, you can really tell he knew that, hey, this is probably going to be it for me. I am going to just go in on it. And you really get that sense. The last line of dialogue he says in this movie, my eyes were watering up. I was like, man, that's a legend on screen right there. We lost a real legend. Now, before I conclude, I do need to talk spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie yet, skip to this time and then we can continue on with it. But we got to talk turkey now. Boy, that twist had me mouth agape in the theater when they were like, oh yeah, my old friend, he survived all this time. Who is it? JB. And you find out, oh, it's him. It's like, wait, you're the little boy from that. I was like, I was shocked. I hit that Pikachu face in the theater for like a good 30 seconds. I was like, I can't believe we finally got the answer to this dude. That he has been in this game. He has been trying to survive and stay away from this stuff in the same way, which explains how he knows so much. It recontextualizes his entire character across the whole series. I was like, I have to go watch these again now. Now I have to watch them, even though that wasn't something that even was thought up at that point. Because even for all the movies, I was like, oh, there goes Death himself. But now it's like with that recontextualization, now it's like, now I gotta watch it again, even though it's kind of funny. It's like, man, he's really scared. These guys, he didn't have to pull that nipple ring out of that guy like that in 2. But you know what? I digress. I digress. That was a great twist. I was like, how are you gonna top that twist in 5? But I was like, honestly, that one got me. I was like, damn, props to you, movie. And one other thing I gotta talk about, also, you know, 2 things. That Eric's death in the movie was so brutal, and I was like mad because in the tattoo parlor scene with the nose ring, in my head I had the perfect letterboxed review. In my head I was gonna put, well, you know what? Nose piercings are out. I guess a Prince Albert will do. Boy, did I regret saying that, because then his death scene came up and I was like, nope, I ain't doing that. Nope, I ain't getting that was horrific. I was like, oh, why? I didn't need to see that. The last thing I gotta talk about, and it's something that had me dying in the theater, is the smug dad at the end of the movie for prom. So like when they're outside and he's like, yeah, he saved her life, brought her back to life. Not really. You really didn't. You know, if she was unconscious and, you know, you brought her back, she wasn't really dead. You weren't really a hero. I was like, way to bring the vibe down. This dude just did not care. He's like, yeah, you didn't save her life at all. You didn't do shit in that situation. I was dying. I was like, why is this guy so crazy? They put Larry David in the movie. That's like something you would see in Curb Your Enthusiasm. Honestly, that same kind of, well, is he really a hero? You know, she wasn't really dead. It's like, I was cracking up. Just stupid. And honestly, yeah, like really good movie. Actors, they did their thing. I like the script, you know, movie. Same as always, little dark comedy. Really funny, has you laughing at stuff that you really have no right laughing at. And, you know, it did its job. It did its job. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Really, really good. Highly recommend it. Don't see it at the theater that I saw it in, because I had the weirdest experience seeing this in theaters. So I went to like one of my local theaters because like, okay, it's a little cheaper here. It might not be too much of a crowd. So I go in there, and right when I sit down, there's like a light in the top right that's like near me, and it keeps flickering. I'm like, that's annoying. I was like, okay, flickering in this movie, okay. Then the exit sign is flickering a little bit too, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, did I pick like the Final Destination theater? Like, is something about to happen? Like, am I getting a sign like in Morse code? Like, okay, what's the light mean? What's the flickering saying? And I was like, okay, that's weird. Then randomly in the movie, in like the left side of my corner of my eye, I see one of the seats like a few down from me go up. And I'm like, what? I was like, did I see? Nah, I'm gonna focus on the movie. Because there were only 3 people in the theater at the time, so it really wasn't a big screening room. And there's only one dude in front of me. So then I was like, okay, I'll leave that alone. Movie's going on. You know, I'm in my own row by myself. No one behind me. and then I like put my foot to the right to kick, and it's almost that feeling like when you kick someone's shoe where like your foot hits something kind of hard and it stops in its place. That happened. Now the thing is, the row that I was sitting in is pretty wide. It's not like some theaters where the rows are super compact. Like I had room to stretch out. And I'm telling you, I stretched my right foot out after that to see what I hit. I couldn't find what it was. I tried to replicate for 5 minutes straight, could not find what I hit. And I'm just like, all right, can this movie end? This theater is like crazy. I'm getting the 5D experience without paying a price, and I ain't liking it at all. So the movie was good, but I had some extra stuff I had to contend with too. So you know what? I guess I got more than I paid for. And speaking of things I got more than I paid for, Expedition 33. Man, I am so happy I picked this game up. This is probably one of my favorite RPGs I have played in years. I know I say that a lot because I loved Metaphor. Like last year, Metaphor was great, but this touches on something in an RPG that I haven't felt in a very long time. It is probably the closest thing has been like a Xenoblade Chronicles, where the characters, the world, the story, the music, they all encompass such a beautiful package together. And it's blending so many different styles and different games in the story and just in everything that the game's doing, and it's doing it perfectly. Like in the gameplay, there's so much. I'm seeing elements of Lost Odyssey. I'm seeing elements of Final Fantasy X. Even in the story and in the world, I'm seeing a lot of Final Fantasy X. Like in the linear style, but just in how much like each level is kind of building into the world and telling the story through there. Because Final Fantasy X is big on just the world telling so much of the story and going heavily in that. And with this, you're seeing a little bit of that there. And you're seeing the journals from the previous expedition, and that's giving me flashbacks to Lost Odyssey with the tales that you would get throughout the game. So it to me is like this perfect amalgamation of so many different games, and it's doing it on such a high level and from a studio that's really not that big. And it proves my point that I've been talking about for a very long time, is that budgets of games don't have to be 50 million, 200 million and all this. Unless you're Grand Theft Auto 6 and you're doing huge tech and like revolutionary stuff in that end, not every game needs to be that big. The fact that like one of the biggest and highest rated games this year sold for $50 from a small team is amazing. It is truly amazing, and I love that of the past few years, some of the biggest games of the year have been RPGs. It makes younger me so happy, because there was a long time where RPGs were given such this big disservice, and especially any that were turn-based, any that came from Japan, they were always given the JRPG term, where they were given all these negative connotations, like, oh, well, we got these game genres here, not those RPGs. And I'm so happy that Expedition 33 is just doing so well as an RPG. Like, it truly is a fantastic game. I'm only maybe 15 hours in, and it's not dropped at all. Like, my score right now is probably a 10 out of 10. I don't think it's going to drop any point. Like, it is on that level for me. Like, I love the gameplay. I love the parry system. I love the way that each character has their different skills. Now you have to strategize in the battles with them. And having that turn-based action command style like X, where you can kind of plan out your next move. Like, okay, the enemy's going to go next. If I do this here, I can maybe inflict this so I can make this next turn easier. It really is just such a great game all around. Like, the casting is excellent. The writing has been stellar. Like, I've never been locked in on a game within the first 20 minutes so fast. Like, I was immediately hooked. I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. Like, I need to play this to the end so I can just get all the answers. Like, I just need to see where this game goes. This is truly something special, and if you have the way to play this game, absolutely play it. It is worth your time. It is absolutely worth your money. Fantastic incredible game all the way around. I love it. I have not been off of it since I bought it. It has been a daily thing for me. I wake up in the morning and I play this game for a little bit. And it's probably going to be the same the second I finish this recording. You know, I could probably go on for hours talking about the characters and talking about all these different things. Honestly, I think it's one of those things, if you've not played it, just go into the game blind and experience it for yourself, because you really are going to be in for a treat there. It is the highest recommendation I could give something on this series. It's like the biggest thing I just hope from this is that these larger studios, and not even on the developer level, on the CEO, the sides where they just do not care. Hopefully they can see this as a, hey, we don't need to maybe micromanage so much stuff. Let the developers craft the game they want to do. Let's not force things into the story because we could get more sales. Like, just let the game speak for itself. Like, this is a game I feel will have a timeless feeling to it. I can play this game 5 years from now, 10 years, 15 years, and I feel it'll still hold the same. I put it that high. So yeah, honestly, Expedition 33 is great. Final Destination's Bloodline is great. Overall, great things this weekend. Great things. So, you know, as always, I'm John, GWC, Gaming with Class, and that's what I did over the weekend. See you later.